Good evening. Hello again. I think it's been a while since I've uploaded. Sorry. But I have other things in the works to show you, and some of them are even finished. This is the Izalon, and it was created for one sole purpose. You see, Undertow Games, Daedalic, however you say it, the guys who helped build this wonderful, wonderful game have this funny idea that people who would like it would have friends. And I don't know why they think this. I certainly don't. I don't know anybody who does. And that can make it really difficult to get opportunities to play this game, especially because campaigns are very, very long if you want to see them through to the end, you know, other than just sit in the lobby and blow up the submarine over and over like a bunch of YouTubers. So, what if I could make a submarine fit for one captain? And that is what I have done today. The Izalon is equipped with a few systems that should make it much easier for a single captain to survive. One is it comes equipped with a puck suit. You might think that that is an overpowered thing to give someone at the start of the game. Normally, you would be right, but remember, we're alone. We die, we go unconscious, that is the end. So, in order to facilitate a single player being able to play through rounds of Barotrauma, some concessions have been made. There may be other features of the submarine that could be deemed overpowered. If you were playing with multiple people, probably. Its size alone, only being this big, makes it very easy and quick to repair. So, again, if you wanted to have an easier time with maybe 2 or 3 other players, you could definitely do this. But it is designed for solo, for balance. So, I normally sit in the editor to talk about a submarine, but today I feel like it would be best demonstrated in an actual mission. So I am playing with Barotrauma because it's my preferred way to play. Apologies if you can hear Discord pings in the background. Hopefully that's not getting picked up, but a bunch of people watching have probably just... Yep, someone really wants to get into contact with me, probably sending me memes. I promise I don't have friends. I wasn't lying. I'd never lie to you, YouTube. But, I feel it would be the best way to demonstrate the features of the Izalon would be to actually attempt some missions. And I can talk about the submarine as I go. I know the first few videos I tried this with, I did this, and I don't know if it was exactly a great viewing experience, because, you know, I am good at rambling, but getting to a fucking point, not so much. I will try to be more concise. So the first thing you'll probably notice is it dives rather quick. Oh shit. It dives rather quickly. And the display. Can you see the little pings? Let's not smash into the wall right at the start. That'd be very embarrassing. It's probably gonna happen though. Little lights pop up on this feed to show you where creatures are and how close they are. Ooh, spooky. So, that's a way for you to navigate the environment without the use of the sonar. Very useful feature. It's done by putting motion sensors all around the submarine and linking each one to a light behind a display. It's a sort of cute little mock-up display of the Izalon's rough shape. I have played with people who insisted on never turning the sonar on and only using directional ping and such. I wish it was more necessary to do that. Most people would rather just shoot the shit out of the aliens, which, you know, I understand they're aliens, they deserve it, probably. So it comes equipped with a pulse laser by default, which I like because it's a very powerful weapon, but it requires precision, pressure. If you're driving this submarine, you set a place for it to autopilot to, grab the gun, and you have to line up a shot and carefully line it out. It's not like a coil gun, or a chain gun especially, where you can achieve accuracy through volume. I suppose the submarine is designed for a decent skill ceiling in that sense. Now you may have noticed that there's 2 turrets on the submarine, but there appears to only be 1 periscope, and that's what the button behind my head is for. The group blue light shows which turret is active. We can toggle between them with it. There is a way to do it while the periscope is manned. I prefer this way though, it's a little bit more juggling and very satisfying to toggle it back and forth. Very high pressure, you know. You wouldn't be playing this by yourself if you didn't like pressure. It would be just as easy to make a submarine that's just immune to damage if you wanted to cheat your way to the end by yourself. But this is more interesting, I feel. Husked crawlers. I've noticed Barotrauma does this sometimes. It spawns you with a bunch of husked monsters by default. I'm not really sure why, but it seems to happen pretty consistently between updates. So you may have noticed a few times just now that the discharge coils have been going on by themselves. They do drain from the same supercapacitor, this one, which is the one that's connected to the turrets. You can turn them off at the helm here, and when you do that, it will mean that the discharge coils, because they do constantly fire if they detect a creature nearby, and they will drain the supercapacity, so you won't be able to use your guns. So if you've got the coils on, the main thing you're using them for is, I will demonstrate now with this fella, whatever it is, to simply go past creatures, and as they attack you, I turn them off. Give them a zap, stun them, and then drive by. I do enjoy going fast in this game. I know you're not supposed to go fast in this game, but it's fun. Let's go over here now. So that's what the coils are for. It's another way for a solo captain to get through encounters if maybe they're not quite so confident jumping back and forth between the guns while the submarine's moving. But there is a solution to crashing in the submarine, and I'll show you in a moment. These crawlers might have a chance to force a demonstration, but we'll see. I fancy myself a bit of a crack shot with the old pulse laser, so we'll see. Absolutely the most OP gun in the game. I would say that it's probably on par with a double coil gun in terms of power. It's incredibly ammo efficient. The ammo isn't that expensive. I mean, most monsters in the game drop one of the components to make the shots, which is their blood, because I guess we need to dye the laser somehow. Yeah, it's even got an AoE around the blast if you didn't know, so this annoying situation where the crawler's eating another crawler, I can blast them through it. Very, very busted. I think adding a little bit of piercing to a coil gun might give it a bit more utility. That being... No, wait, it's got piercing ammunition, isn't it? Well, there you go. There you go. I just never use it, because it also has the option to turn the coil gun into a grenade launcher that fires semi-automatically, which is still even more busted, to be honest. Exploding coil gun ammunition is so fun. I'm getting sidetracked. So crawlers aren't... well, they've created a breach. Let's create a bigger breach. Turn the lighting off for the demonstration earlier. Let's turn it back on. Mood lighting. So, one person in a submarine. If it's a little breached, it's scary, but not too big a deal. The pumps are extra strong on this thing, so it can handle more active breaches than the average submarine. Most subs in the game, if one room's flooded, you lose most of your maneuverability, and, you know, anyone who's played this game knows that'll escalate into a crash. Good lord, so many monsters. I wonder if it's because I'm going slow. I don't really want to die. We're going to go straight until we hit something, because I want to demonstrate. Isn't that spooky? That's the sound of the engine bouncing off of their skin, like resonating against them. I might jump into the back real quick. That's strange. I sense that we're about to crash into something, but maybe not. Oh. If I go into the helm to check, I know it will crash then, and I'll take a bunch of damage. No, I think we've ended up in the outside of the map by continuing to go forward. If you didn't know, there's usually a gap in the down to the abyss somewhere in the map, and one of the fail safes so that you don't get trapped down there for an entire round and everyone gets bored and unhappy is that at the end of the map there's a giant opening next to the exit. So if you travel, there we go, we crashed. Didn't do much damage though. If you travel all the way to the right from the abyss until the terrain starts to go up instead of across, you can then just go straight up and then usually basically park next to the outpost from there. If you keep close enough to the ceiling, you probably won't even encounter an abyss monster, so sometimes it's a good thing to do even. Or if you're in a fast submarine, you might be able to outrun whatever's down there. Maybe, probably not though. Definitely not in a vanilla sub. Let's kill these, whatever they are. Let's drive into them and shock them. Coils on, blue lights are on, coils are on. Mud raptors. Turrets aiming down. Let's get them. Shit. Something about the AoE, you can hit multiple at once with this thing. Now we're breached. All these holes, my nose is even cracked open. If I open the window, it'll start leaking in my ship. So I found out how to do this from Initial D-Suit, as with many of my creations. One of the other options on here is the emergency foam, which will activate some detonators, which will release fixed foam. Perfect. The submarine can be completely shattered and that'll restore it, so very good in the event of a sudden hammerhead attack, as I have experienced. It's also got depth charges. I can't remember if it was in this recording or the one that fucked up, that I explained that the reason why I put depth charges on is because it adds a little bit more options for a solo captain. Being able to drop a decoy with the sonar turned off is honestly something I never see people do in multiplayer. And it is effective, especially if you're smart enough to turn the engines off and not turn the sonar off and not run the engines too high. Again, I can't remember what if I said this in this recording or the other one. Probably a good argument for why you should take a break between records. If any of you happen to be professional YouTubes out there, tube heads. I have designed the submarine with a little bit more durability in the hull, but not a lot. And I have also made it so many of the mechanical devices decay slightly slower. Again, not a lot. But they also, some of them are just flat out immortal. And the reason for that is because it's fun to have to stop and fix things on your submarine. To park somewhere even and just do it briefly and, you know, take your eyes off the sonar for once, Captain. Take your eyes off the sonar for 5 seconds. Of course, there's the alarm system, which will warn you. Spawn. What's something harmless? Swarm. Feeder. Cursor. Is it cursor? It's a space at the end. Is that why it's wrong? No. I don't know why cursor is not working when I type it. Oh, team 1. I figured swarm feeders would trigger it. They're the little ticks that float around in alien ruins, if you're not familiar. Spawn, husk, cursor. Husks can't damage hull, so they're good for demonstrations. You can't really see it with my light shining on it, but that's essentially warning this creature directly in front of the sub. As he travels around, he'll trigger different ones. So even if you are fabricating or repairing, the submarine will warn you if you detect something. Creature alerts are a pretty easy thing to set up. It's just, again, rig it up to lights or something with a motion sensor, set it to detect only creatures and ignore dead. Jungle. Depth charge tube is down here. Oh yeah, every time you use a fixed foam grenade, you will have to replace them, which is why the armory comes stocked with a few. And they, in the early game, are actually quite rare, so you're going to want to ration them. You don't want to rely on the auto-fix too much if you can help it. And, you know, if you decided to play a mechanic as a class, you could bull rush that from the start. Yeah, I think that's about all there is to say about the Izalon. If I was to try doing a full campaign playthrough, I might even try playing on this thing. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I don't get many comments on my videos, but I would very much like to see if I could make some kind of community for this game, because I think it's very special. Not really anything like it. This alarm's pretty annoying, which is shut up. Because a lot of people do treat this game as kind of like, you know, silly mess around, you know, not really taking it seriously and actually trying to engage with all of its mechanics. And, yeah, you really are missing out if you don't. There's so much content I feel like most people don't even see in the base game. That's not even talking about Barotrauma and Dynamic Europa and all these overhaul mods that just add so much stuff. Yeah, so much stuff. Alright, my little soapboxy rant over. I hope you enjoyed watching the Izalon. Glad to be back. Will hopefully be back soon with more submarines. We're very close to finishing another one, a very ugly one. And I will see you next time.